All right, everybody. Welcome to the stream. El Hefe here. I'm on the line here with Bake. We are going to go through a keep review. I had talked about this a few times this week. I think last week, actually, after All-Stars, Bake had reached out to me and wanted to kind of go through his keep and look at what he's got, some of the things he's got set up, kind of just an overall review of the keep. I know he's out on server 1010 with Pork Me. Pork Me had done a keep review, I think originally when he first came on to Hanging with the Hose. So he thought it'd be a good idea to go through this. So yeah, we're gonna just step through it, kind of be a free flowing conversation. Try to give him a hand on making some improvements, and maybe we'll learn a thing or two as well. So. Anyway, without further ado, I'm showing your screen. I'm not sure if you're watching live, but I'm showing your screen online right now. So and there's no delay. I think this was the problem I had once when I did these. Is there was a screen delay, so everybody couldn't keep up with my review. So I think I got that fixed. So anyway, Bake, if you want to get started, we can start wherever you want. You want to look at generals, troops, setups. You want to just talk a little bit? We can pick some things off here.
Definitely start with generals.
Okay.
I got
And your K40, looks like you've got a number of ascended generals here.
Yeah, I have a few. I have Douglas here. He's my main archer guy. I started to amplify some of the gear. I was going back and forth on whether I should do that or continue to acquire gear. Put it on perhaps a second ascended archer general.
Yep.
But I figured this would be the perfect forum to pose that question.
Yeah. This looks good. Yeah, obviously you've got some, and I'm just gonna say you got some money invested here with Douglas being awakened already, as well as you've got some pretty high amplified gear. So that's looking good.
I got Elise is she's my main mounted. My main ground general.
Yep.
I have Ludwig too, but I'm just waiting until I get Amaratsu up to about level 10 or 12.
Okay.
And then I'll get him geared up and have 2 ground marches.
Nice.
I got Zuka as my main siege general.
Okay.
I use Martinus as my, he's all geared up for
bosses right now.
For monsters.
Yep.
But I see that it doesn't really hamper me when I do mounted attacks. And in Battlefield, I still get like 2300. I could switch it up, but I don't know if mounted is that important in Battlefield.
No, I would disagree with that, but yes, okay, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Mounted is huge. We do a lot of big clears with mounted, but yeah.
Yeah. I got Minamoto, like I said, Ludwig. Gaius is the guy I use with Martinus, Simeon, just there doing nothing. Severus right now is my assistant to siege. Alessandra is my assistant to ground.
Yep.
Charles and Eleanor, my assistants to
siege
to range. Yeah.
Range.
Both range.
Yeah. Charles and yep.
I got siege too, the Blackbeard for range. For siege, I was wondering if I should build him up for a second siege march. I do see that siege, especially in All Stars, is like.
Who's your main siege? I missed that. Who's your main siege?
Zuka.
Oh yeah, Zuka. Yeah.
Yeah, I got Zuka here somewhere. There he is. And then I got a siege. I could build him up and put gear on him to have a second siege march. I felt like that was more important than mounted. Again, I heard what you said. Be wrong, but
no, they're all important at some point. The siege, I would say, priority wise, is the key ones, and some of that depends on your alliance. I know I've talked about this before, where if you are a bigger alliance facing bigger opponents, probably siege and bigger keeps you're having to clear, and you're currently 11.7. I would, if you popped into ours, I would probably arch you, maybe big siege you first. So, siege is really a go-to for bigger alliances, but if you're in a smaller team, You might not need siege out of the gate. I think people start off with arch, but yeah, because they use it for soloing generally too. But yeah, no, that's great. You're at a good spot here. The Zuka and Septimos, I don't know exactly. I'd have to go back and do the math again. I remember comparing the two, one being the main, one being the assistant, and because you can do both. You can flip flop them. I think I chose to do Septimos as the main and Zuka as the secondary, and it might have just been when I got those generals. I can't remember, but that would be the only. I guess I don't know. Are you the rally setter in your team?
Yeah, I'm pretty much the rally setter. Yeah.
Okay, because you may want to look for, your main general being Philip, and I think Teach have. I think he's got rally capacity on the Ascension.
He does.
Yeah, that might be the only thing I would say is you're looking for rally capacity at some point. Now, if you're like us, you probably don't fill your current rally hall, but
no, we don't. That's why it's like everybody always talks about, filling every. I'm like, if we get to like 22, 26 million, it's a lot, and I can hold, I think
40.
like 30.
Yeah.
That's why I don't even rush to increase my war hall.
Yeah, it's probably a good choice. I think long term, like if you're looking to be a setter in All Stars, people look at who's got the biggest war hall there. If that's something you want to aspire to do, or you're currently doing that now, it just helps out to get a few more troops in those kind of rallies. But for twice a year, maybe it's not as important. You're right, so that's good.
Right. And they moved us to C4, so
okay.
We used to be C5. Now we're in C4. I'm like a little baby in C4. There's the guys on my team were all 50, 60 billion. I was like, I think I was 23rd out of the 25 in my All-Star.
Okay. Yeah, they're probably not going to look to you to set there, and then I guess. Okay.
Yeah, or rain me. All right, they're looking for me to port around.
You just move, yeah. Well, they should be moving too if they're smart. But well, that's good. You've got a really good set of generals there. Obviously, you've put some time into getting those updated. Is there one that you want to focus on, or do you want to move on to something else?
So I was going to ask about the defensive general, right? So I think right now is Leo.
Yep.
Supported by Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
Then it always comes into question about the attributes.
Yep.
The refining attributes.
Mm-hmm.
And, just to see what is people seeing at about 12 billion, what works best. Should it be mounted? Is it right to do, mounted flat and siege percentages? I mean, I'm just querying whether or not I have the right setup.
I don't think there's anything wrong with those. I guess I'm gonna have to say yes. I don't think that you want to put personally. I don't know. What's your dragon look like for your refines that you've got on? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So at your size, you're probably like you're seeing you're gonna get arched, maybe big sieged. So, but eventually, if you're getting up to those 20 billion, 30 billion size, you're gonna get sieged, right? So, the siege HP is much more important than the mounted HP. I don't know if you originally started or are thinking about flats because you want to utilize like T1s, like mounted T1s as your defense.
Yeah. So I have like 200 million of them or something like that. Now I figure that's like, my biggest base. I might as well have them help me out and do a little bit of damage in the process.
Yeah, and it's good, but at your size, they're gonna just arch you to clear out your upper end arch and your upper end ground. Probably after, or they're gonna big siege you to clear your arch, and then eventually they'll cav rally you, and it won't matter what your flats are,
right?
Or what your now 1-on-1. Or as your upper layers gets killed and somebody solos you, you could be gaining some defense using those siege HP or the mounted HP, whether it be flat or percentage. You're gonna gain some things, survivability, or maybe kill. Get a few extra kills. But I don't think as a bigger player, people disagree on this. They will swap and maybe have a secondary set of gear, secondary gen that they use if once their upper layers are killed. Then they might swap to some
like Boudica or something.
Yeah, Boudica, and then they've got a few pieces that they swap in for defense. But if you got that kind of time, you're probably in Battlefield. You're probably the biggest one in your team, and you're just going to die anyway. So, I mean, is it really, using those refined stones, all those gems? I realize you probably obviously have plenty of those things, but it's still a bit of a money sink into those things that maybe you might utilize that stuff in the future. So I wouldn't say at your size that you want to focus as much on the siege HP now, or sorry, the mounted HP. Now, that said, they are going to look to arch you, and the survivability of your calves is very important. I don't think the survivability points wise in SVS is important to save those T1s, but it is important to save your T14, T15s, and having a percent based HP, I think, is more important.
Okay.
In fact, I just took a siege or an arch solo from a guy. I did a switch in this last SVS, and I don't think he was real happy. I think I was like 70 million negative, and he was like 400 million negative or something. And he was their 35 billion player. He wasn't happy about that. And I don't have T1s. I don't even think I have 200 million. I think I have 100 million or 150 million.
I only built them for all songs because they told us, hey, you guys all need X amount. And I think the amount was like 1 billion. I was like, there's no way I get to 1 billion.
Bake, you need new leadership. Don't listen to those guys.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there's a time and a place for T1s. I know I've had this debate many times with many different people, and there's value in them. I just think it's such a short-term fix for what you're probably eventually not going to need. You see the big guys I was going against in All-Stars, some of them had 1.5 billion T1s. It didn't really matter. I mean, yeah, they probably weren't zeroed, but even someone like Kingster got zeroed, and he's got, I think, 150, 200 or 2 billion T1s. Yeah. I mean, those guys at that point, if they're they're really not helping as much as you think, unless you're a T1 trap. No,
it's fascinating. Yeah, I'm looking at Norway Ridge, and he was done with all 15% ground attack, and I don't know what the hell just happened there.
Oh boy!
Like fines. I don't know what the fuck that. Excuse me.
No, you're good.
I don't know what
this is not kid friendly. I swear all the time.
Oh, so I guess I gotta refine him again.
Oh, you might have. I wonder if you clicked on it thinking it was another piece or something happened there.
I don't know what happened there. It was all ground attack, but
yeah, I wouldn't recommend that setup for your ground.
Yeah, no, me either. So yeah, I'll definitely. But, all right, I got obviously I unlocked 1 to 3, and I got 2 All-Star Dragons. I got Colchin first.
Yep.
I got Amaterasu next. Amaterasu I got because I know his dragon skill, when you activate it, it really helps ground and mounted.
Yep.
So I figured that
definitely most of these dragons are about the active skills. Even Ziz has got a really good active skill. Amaterasu is good, but Ladon's is really good as well. I think eventually you'll get them all, but I think given your role, you're probably doing a lot of ground clears. I think that was a good choice, taking that ground dragon.
And then there's this thing like with Civ gear, right? I mean, everybody's always looking for the right setup and how it works. And I thought most importantly was the setup for ground, because there's so much ground Civ gear. And so I think right now we're using 4 of this Fury and 2 of this whatever it is.
Antonine, yep.
Antonine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're right. There's a lot of Siege is in the same boat. There's a lot of siege gear. There's a lot of ground gear, and there's actually a lot of arch gear too, or range gear. I swapped recently to using 2 of the Japanese set, 2 of the Antonius, and 2 of the Aztec.
The Aztec, did you swap this out for it? Your main weapon?
Yeah, Let me see here. I can tell you exactly just so I don't mess it up. Yes, I'm using the Aztec, the Obsidian Sword, and then the Aztec, or Antonius Helm, and the Antonius Legs, and then I'm using the chest piece from the Aztec. But then I kept the boots and the bracers from the Japanese set, for Kanasis or whatever.
So for ground, I was always, considering what is it more important to have, 2,500 attack, or is it more important to have 2,000 HP? That's kind of where I was in between.
Yeah, well, the way I look at it is HP is probably the easiest thing to debuff for ground, on defense, and so if ground attack is probably, I don't know, I'm gonna get flack for this, but probably ground is probably the second hardest to debuff next to siege HP, and so ground attack, the higher your ground attack is, you're going to get debuffed a little bit, but not as much as the
HP,
the ground HP. But so you could argue, well, maybe then I should have higher HP, so that as it cuts it in half, mine is even better than fighting, and that's kind of a balancing act. So I don't know. I don't think you're bad doing either. I also think Amaterasu is a little different than Norway Ridge, so you'll get some changes there using him. So I would look at that as a whole. I typically look for ground attack being the primary, and then HP secondary, and defense third. And that was how I picked those. Well, frankly, I didn't pick them. I'm just copying what others have already done the math on, and then I remathed it, and it turned out I think that looked like a good setup for me. But this by all means isn't bad. And the good news here is the piece you did ascend, or you amplified, is one of the pieces I'm using as my sort of end state. So
I would going to change this one, right?
Yep, that one's a really good piece.
That's how I always, as I'm going through and I'm amplifying, and obviously I can amplify a lot more, but when I'm doing it, I always look for the pieces that, hey, this is probably a main staple here.
Yeah,
and I won't, even if something new came out.
Exactly. No, that looks really good. Your ground gen looks solid.
All right.
But yeah, defensive gens, Marshall is a good choice, secondary for Leo. I'd thought about going to him. Now, the fact that you've got him fully ascended, you could obviously flip-flop those two and re-gear, Marshall to be the main and do Leo. So if you're at a state, like say you're 30 billion and your siege is gone, you flip-flop those two if you take the time to do that. And all of a sudden you got better arch, defense.
Yeah, right.
I just don't, practicality wise, that's typically not really that needed. And for the number of times you do that, I think your setup is good. I assumed you used this at some point before you got Leo ascended.
Yeah, Marshall was my main guy before I got Leo, and then once I got Leo, because of the way I built my troops, I just figured Leo was the way to go.
Yep, I think he's a good choice. I mean, I'm using him. He must be, right?
Right.
Joking. But yeah, though, that looks like a good setup. And then it looks like you got a good set of sub-gens there as well.
Yeah, this is kind of like where I throw all my, like, the extra gear that I don't know what to do with. I just...
It's got good debuffs. Yeah.
Try to get as much, the highest debuffs that I can.
Yep. Oh, this is a great setup.
Yeah, the question becomes here. It's like, are these the specialties, like, are they required for sub-generals? Because they're really hard to get, right? I think the hardest thing in this game to get is those rune stones.
Yeah, the rune stones. So you got to think about what how your play style is, right? So in every rally, you're not getting any of these benefits of any of your subgens. The only time you're getting the benefits of subgens is when you're soloing or when you take a defense, right? So in your size, in your alliance, you're probably the last one to die. How important is it for you to take 12 rallies versus 8 rallies? Probably not that important, right? I mean,
that's the problem with our alliance. I think our alliance is so small. Like, I think I don't know the exact number, but Pork is on. He might know. I think we're like 41 billion.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't get rallies.
No,
Like, our
and you
battle-
clearly outpaced your team. That happens. So no, I think that could evolve eventually and change for you. So you're probably looking at you're doing more soloing. You're in SVS. You're probably getting some big solo hits and doing things like that for your team. But
Yeah, when I'm not getting caught by those T1 traps.
yeah, you just stay away from them. Don't feed the beast.
Try not.
Yeah, but Arminius. Now, one thing I would say is I see that I think it's the second one on all your subgens is the one that's got the debuff usually. And so those are typically the ones I will start with on all subgens is, like for Baldwin there, he's got a -10 to enemy troop attack. You don't necessarily have to do 1 and 3 yet until you're ready to fully ascend them. So if you want to save those rune stones for the skills for 1 and 2 or 1 and 3, the only benefit you're getting is for those troops that are fighting for Baldwin. They're in your sub. So you don't necessarily have to add those rune stones until you really want to fully spec
Oh wait,
them.
these guys. So the enemy troop attack. That's only for the troops in this subsidy.
No. That actually applies. The debuffs apply across to your. So when you're soloing, when you're taking a defense, certainly those debuffs apply. But those positive ones that you see there, that +6, that +4, those are only applying to those troops that are fighting for Baldwin within that sub. So it's not as important to dedicate those yet. But what I do, like here in Arminius, he may or may not be your endgame subgen. He's a good subgen, but I wouldn't say there may be better options for you here. Mm-hmm. In the meantime, you can just fully spec his second spec there and not worry about the first and the third.
Right.
You're always going to have more number 1 spec stones anyway, so it's not like you did anything wrong. It's just more you may or may not use this guy as an endgame subgen.
If I could find anyone better, I mean, they're hard to come by.
Yeah,
Like, I thought that Anthony was pretty good.
Anthony's very good. Yep, I'm using him. I switched him.
I can only get him to 2 stars. I can't find anything else.
Yeah, he's tough to. He basically comes with. Well, no, he started to show up. I think as you open up gens, but he's definitely a good one.
I got him in one event about 4 or 5 times, and then I haven't gotten him since.
Yeah.
I know that I had Baldwin again because I just like Baldwin.
Baldwin's very good. In fact, I've got 1 ascended. I'm considering doing a second eventually because he's that good.
Well, so I got 3 Baldwin. Dude, should I just get rid of 1 and fully ascend the others?
No, I think it's okay to have them there. I think I would look to probably replace Arminius before you took out a Baldwin to use him to ascend another one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I like this stuff.
He's pound for pound. He's one of the best subgens.
He was in the event for that trial of knights, and they took him out.
Yep. No, he's very good. He's not sort of sexy as far as what he debuffs always, but his total debuff package is, I think, the highest number of debuffs for any subgen. Now, some of them you'd argue you don't necessarily need. Defense maybe isn't as important as attack and HP, but pound for pound, all I'm saying is his total score on debuff points is very high. So he's one I'll always keep. Yeah, here's the deal. I mean, people ask, well, what's the best subgen, or what should I really be using here? All I tell them is you do really need to review your reports. You have to look at how do you want to balance your fight. Do you want to try to make it really hard to kill all your siege? And then by the time those are dead, you're probably dead anyway. So, does it really matter how much ground debuff you have or how much cav debuff you have? I'd argue it probably matters more what arch and siege you have. So, but again, depends on your size and your sort of your gameplay, how you actually want to play. Are you going to be 50 billion? Or are you going to stay 2 billion? Are you going to stay, a lot of it depends on each individual. So there's no real, now that Hojo guy, very, very good, very hard to ascend. But I would look to maybe get him included in your repertoire.
But so I always consider that. I heard that the Gen guy too is really good. But if I can't ascend them like more than they are, like I don't feel like they're as productive.
I would agree with you. If you've ascended or can ascend other gens, it's probably better to have those in there. But again, they're situational. Depending on what you're doing, you may look to ascend these gens.
Yeah, that defense and HP force sieges.
Yeah,
pretty nice.
Yep. Yeah, those are both gens I actually just swapped into. But you're right, they're more difficult to get copies of to be able to ascend them. But again, all those ascend where you are right now. If you didn't ascend any others because you wanted to save blood, I just don't know where you're at with blood and stuff like that. But you just don't want to get to the point where if all of a sudden those gens that are better show up in tokens now, maybe you don't have enough blood to keep ascending. It just kind of depends on the individual. But
I got like 8 ascended generals that I really don't even think I need them anymore. But
yeah,
I could.
You could always get rid of them and reclaim.
Yeah. Or I could just do what I usually do and just buy a pack.
That's true. That happens. I've been known to do that.
Lay off of that for a little bit, but it's my head tells me one thing, my fingers do another.
Sometimes it's just easier, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there before. No, I'm doing the same. I haven't been spending much.
Too much thought. You just do a double down.
Yeah, exactly. It's just looking right at you. All right, so you got T15 ground open.
I can open T15 mounted as well.
Sure.
The only one I think I have an issue with is Siege. It's just so expensive to open Siege.
Definitely.
But I try to keep things like pretty even keel, other than Siege.
Mm-hmm.
And then my T12, I don't know. I like those archers, so I send a lot of them when we're doing rallies.
Perfect. Yeah, I think T12, T13 should be your focus on volume because of that. For that reason, now, again, your situation, you're in a relatively smaller than what you. Well, when I say smaller, you're smaller alliance compared to when you show up in All Stars, and you join the team with those guys. You obviously would like to have more rally joining troops. So it really goes to what you want to do is plan, I think, for your long-term strategy, and that's your team getting bigger and you getting bigger and you being able to do more in All-Stars. So you want to show up in All-Stars with as many troops as you can to join rallies, as well as defense. Those are good troops for defense as well. So if you want to keep scrolling here, yep. So you got 5 million layers, 6 million layers. That looks really good at your size.
Yeah, then I just start to cut down and just go Siege.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's really good.
I was thinking about getting to like 20 million of just Siege on everything.
Yep.
And then there's the horse. I figured 10 million on horses. And then for range and ground, I would just build high-level troops because those are the ones that we're throwing in the rallies, right?
Yeah, I would. You're probably good on your layers. I kind of look at layers being 1 through 9. If you were T1 through T9, T10s you could argue as you get 15s, but your main volume should be coming. I think, in my opinion, should be coming from your 12s and your 13s, just because those are your bigger chunks that you're going to throw into rallies. Soloing your T15 grounds are going to be probably a really good, thing to keep.
I feel like that's the only thing they're good for is to attack, because on defense they don't do shit.
Well, they don't do shit because you're probably at the point where your archers and your siege are dead, right? So they actually do a really good job.
I'm actually at the point where my siege just kill everything.
Yeah, it's just because your volume, your size, your number of siege that you've got is really high, so that's good. You got a good defense. But yeah, so you want to, have enough to add a few to your ground joiners if you do a ground rally, but if you're sending 1 million to 1.5 T15s on a big clear, you'll do really well. So you got a good number of them there that should be good. I would just say that your 13s and your 12s need to just, even on your siege, you'll be a lot happier the more you make of those levels of troops so that you can join more rallies later for all stars.
Okay.
Because you're big enough for your server, you're big enough for your alliance. By the time they start catching up, you'll have every layer to, like, you're talking 20 million, or like even at my size of 50 million, I think I got 25 million layers. And so you're
That's
already there
too.
with your siege. So I would start focusing on those join layers, and you'll find the 13s and 12s will do better than your layers. You'll never get to the layers. By the time they get to the layers, like I said, you're probably on your last rally and you're dying.
All right. Cool.
We haven't found anything really wrong with you yet. This is not good. You must be pro expert here.
No.
It's looking really good.
So again, I haven't got any of the new gear, and I don't know if it's even worth it, but I haven't looked into it. I have a lot of those little treasure boxes to pick and choose. I haven't felt the need to do anything because I haven't decided where I'm going to go next.
See, that's smart. That's smart. So you haven't. The only thing I saw there in that quick click through was the Plantagenet. One of the things the rally capacity. I know you don't need it now, and it's not even really for the rally. I mean, it is in this case, but my point was going to be some of the biggest people wonder how does so and so get to 3K, buffs? How did they get 2,500 buffs? A lot of these things are these secondary things, these full set bonuses that you'll see on, say, all the ground sets. If you got all those, it adds, a pretty big percentage across your defending, just your base stats go up. And that's the same thing in this case. So when you have one piece that you haven't made here, I would look at, well, does it really make sense? Should I just make that to have it? And you might not need to do that now, but at least in the future, as you're looking for rally capacity for your team, that's an easy way to get a big 20%. So,
agreed.
And you're not using those two pieces on your cav gen. I use what are you using on your cav gen? Are you using Han pieces?
Just what is it? Rurik or something like that.
So Rurik set, you see all those buffs are for monsters.
Yeah.
So those won't apply when you're joining rallies or soloing with your calves.
Which is weird though. I've heard that, but like I told you, like I when I solo with calves, it's still like 2285 and 1600 and of defense and HP. So I mean, I'm almost at 2300 solo attack with my calves, and that's with this gear. That's why I haven't changed it.
Do you have the Han set?
Do I have the Hans set?
Or HAN, Han?
Oh, I don't think so. I think that's the one I left out. This one, right?
One. Yeah, that one, yeah.
This one is the one that I would get if I wanted to put on my...
Yeah, there's quite a few pieces there that you'll use for... I'm surprised you're getting that on reports. And if you are getting that on reports already, like, what's your VIP? I don't even remember. Yeah, you're 19. What's your Civ treasure level?
5.
Okay, so yeah, you might be surprised that it goes up even more.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'd have to look a lot closer to see, but I'm surprised you're getting that high with the Rurik set.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a bug. Maybe you found a bug. It's not supposed to work that way. Let's just say that.
All right.
Yeah, the bourbon set is another set that you look at for calves. And I'm using, the reason I noticed that one, because I'm using the Plantagenet boots and the Plantagenet helm on my cav gen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I have a flat on one of them. I'm not sure why, but lazy.
I'm always willing to try new things on them, so maybe I'll.
Well, what I would do is, why don't you? If you have one piece, you can just do it on any dead keep, right? You can compare and contrast the pieces and just look at do the stats change, and if the Rurik set is actually showing cav attack and cav HP, the other thing, it could be just a reporting issue, and you're not going to be as successful. I don't know. It shouldn't work that way. Otherwise, I don't know why they would designate it just for monsters. So
I can test and always send it back and let you know what I find. But
yeah,
I mean,
you got me curious now, because I don't. That's one thing I don't have is full Rurik set.
I don't know if we have many of these things. I guess we didn't really have many attacks in our last battlefield. But if I did,
I know I want to be conscious of your time too. We're at about 20-25 minutes now, so I don't know if you've got more stuff you want to go through, or
I mean, I don't know. You ask, and I'm here to
yeah. So what's your next step? So you're 11-7. You've got a really good set of generals. You've got good dragons.
If I listen to you and build 12 and 13s, then I'm just gonna go up fairly high in power.
Yeah, you're just gonna get fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your buffs are already top notch. It really, that next step for you, it seems like you're hanging fine on your server. You're hanging fine with your alliance, in your battlefields and such. And it may change the trajectory a little bit of your alliance if you go real big, but because you'll get tougher opponents as your alliance builds, which can be good and bad for your teammates. So it kind of, I would say, give all your resources and money to Pork Me. Let him catch up.
Well, so he can catch up, right?
Yeah, and then give it to the next guy, and just just be nice to everyone.
Talking about Aptoid and stuff like that.
Yeah, Aptoid. Yeah, exactly. Using Aptoid for sure. Using the Hefe promo code. Yeah, you don't want to. Yeah, you just don't do too bad. And
we haven't. I don't think we've lost in like a while. The loss to the TKO was because we had nobody wanted to show up.
Yeah.
BOG is tough, but BOC, we don't really lose.
Yeah, you guys are rocking.
Some of the matches are fun and but others they just suck, and you just take some buildings and you just let the time pass.
But it must be really nice for your team to be able to get dragons, right? Are you able to?
We tried, man. We were there. We were doing the math and this BOC qualifier. And we thought that we could get 4 of us into Majors All-Star, but that's because we used to be C5.
Oh.
So C5 at about 16 to 18,000 a round would have gotten you in to top 200. But C4, it doesn't work.
Got it.
Yeah, C4 we needed 24 to 26. So
that's basically C1 numbers. That's pretty high.
Yeah. It's tough, man.
Yeah.
So only I made it, and then the other 3 made it to elite.
But if you're dominating your BOCs, are you guys able to get Nidhogg for a lot of people then pretty easily, or?
Well, so we haven't had people who have been on consistently like that. Okay. We have Pork and Moraine are next up, but Pork's always lazy, doing something his wife tells him to do, and Moraine is she has her own job, so
yeah. Well,
it works. But
that's the big thing to try to get your alliance stronger, is helping them to get those things open. Yeah,
I agree.
What else are you working on? Did you get any of these debuff books, skill books? I haven't done a thing with it yet. What?
I don't know. No, I haven't. I haven't been on much this week, and I know they just came up, but
yeah, I don't want you starting to spend on that now.
Nah, but isn't it that they have to supplant something that you have for attacking or HP?
Well, you'd have to. Well, you think about you've got 6 options, right? Assistant gens. You can put them on sub gens.
How they don't work on a sub-gem?
Is that true?
It's
I don't know.
marking attack.
Only on
Leading
attack.
the army to attack.
Okay, so it's based on the wording, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Or does it
So I
make
don't-
sense?
to attack. Marching.
Is that really true? So those skill books on attack will work on a subgen? They'll show up on your reports? Something we'll have to test. I haven't looked at these at all, but I was told it came out, and that's about as far as I got.
It was actually Porkney who told us. He was like, make sure you read the wording because it's to attack means marching, and that means that they'd be useless on our subgens, unless we were soloing, right?
Well, I don't know. Typically, I didn't see it that way, working that way, but I thought only debuffs were showing through. But yeah, well, it's something we'll have to test and look at. It's definitely, I haven't gotten a single one of those because apparently you can just get them through the packs. That's the only way to actually get them.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not buying any right now, but maybe a double down this weekend just to test it out, right? Just for science.
One double down.
Yeah. No, you got a really good setup. I don't have a lot of, unfortunately, not a lot of advice. I think what I would say that you're already doing it is just continue to look to the future and not try to get sucked into too many specific gens and too many specific setups. You've got really good setup for your gens already, and I've been known to hoard things, and so you'll see me just do certain things right before All Stars just to prep, and that might be switching out a gen. It might be changing out, like I changed out 4 sub gens. I changed a bunch of things going into All Stars, but on a day-to-day battlefield, you're already winning every one. What do you really need to do? Are you trying to get, save money?
I'm trying not to get punked in All Stars.
Yeah, I mean, it's really at your size and your sort of what your role is. You want to be the guy, the gal, the big keep, right? So you stick to doing what you're doing and make long-term plans. You're not, nobody's hitting you. You could probably sit unbubbled on your server. I mean, there's nothing that's. Oh, let's check out your subs. What subs do you got, or don't you want to show those?
Yeah, I have some. I have a couple of them.
You got a historics?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I got the Pantheon, 2.
Nice.
Kathmandu, and then we only, Japan's because challenge is tough.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get some famous ones, but challenge is tough. You're 40 billion as a unit, and you're up there against 125 billion as another unit. It's tough.
No, you're right. I haven't gotten one. They're not easy to get.
They're not easy to get. And then I could have a couple more, but they changed the historics to those culturals for us.
Yeah, us too.
Yeah, those suck.
Yeah, they weren't definitely weren't as good.
But are they worth the amount of money it costs? Plus, C4, I'm telling you, C5 to get a historic, maybe 3 bands, maybe 3,500.
Yeah.
C4 to get a cultural, it was almost for $6,000. I was like, what are these people doing?
Yeah, you just have more people that are spending in those groups that are doing it. Yeah. Well, and they made them cheaper too now. I think it used to be 30 and now it's 25 or whatever. Yeah.
But that's because they're not as good.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. But I think you'll find that the competition will go up higher because people can get them now because that requires less. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, but yeah, I think you're good with stick with those Japs. That's good.
Yeah. Okay. And then this thing, that last one that you have to bid in that the auction house.
Oh yeah.
Never.
No. There's a few people who get those.
It never happened. I don't know how those people got those gems, but you bidding, it goes up to 150 million gems.
Yeah. Now, some of those guys you'll see they got 100 million of them open. They may or may not have done some things to get those in the past that wasn't exactly legal, but some of them have. Some of them legally. I know for a fact a few guys and gals that have actually spent that much money, but it's crazy.
This is it's still a little boat that Evony is for me. It's not a yacht yet.
No, don't go to the yacht yet. You can still stay in this little boat. You're well ahead of many people, so it's looking good. Yeah, troops, generals. You talked a little bit about T-15s. I think you're on the right track there. You can, or you. I think the only reason to open up your calves would be you get that much less wounded on. You can do bigger bosses more at a time, but you're probably already fine there as well. Your archers maybe is easier than your siege. I don't think they're as valuable except for on defense, which is a small portion of what you have to do as your role. So again, it's just one of those things just to finish things out. I would say, you maybe get to 15 billion, maybe 20 billion before you start doing that, worrying about getting those 15s if you want. And that would just be looking forward to, say, All-Stars, where you've got, say you got 20 million, 25 million T-13, T-12s of all your troop joining layers, and then look to commit those resources to those buildings, because you're gonna, when you go to Arch, it's you got to do walls, T-40 wall, or
the Archer camp. This thing over here too. I got to get this. Yeah,
that one, and but then you also got to do walls, and you're right. Siege is the hardest one, the most resource intensive, but Arch being the second hardest. And then you already know with mounted, it's basically like you did for ground. So
yeah, there's no easy way to get RSS anymore. Apparently, you're not allowed to get it from your teammates. You're not allowed to hit your alts.
No, I saw that. One.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think customer service really quite understands what they're saying when they say that. Hopefully, they're not understanding what they're saying there. Then they should just take the feature out if they're not allowed to transport.
Right. I just transported couple million, I don't know, to a friend so she can do her wall for 38 or 39. And
probably just banned her.
Yeah, they hit me. They're like, "What are you doing?"
Seriously?
I'm helping my teammate build a wall. No, you can't do that.
Oh my god, this is not a team game. No. Just send us money first.
Right. How do we pad the revenue on the
Yeah, I think it's slowing down for them. That's for sure. So.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I've seen these 1300 servers. They're already at 4 or 5 people in the alliance that are like K40.
Yeah.
They can't be more than 4 months old.
Right. No, I don't quite. I know Ebony's made it easier to develop keeps quicker with the packs. I mean, we didn't have packs back. I mean, I don't like to talk about 6-7 years ago, but we didn't have packs back in the day to do these things, but that just wasn't possible. And I realized that if you're a new player joining into a server, you want to grow. I, for some reason, feel like they really should limit these new servers and not allow, sort of scale the packs up as it develops so that it doesn't get out of whack like that, because you've literally orphaned how many people? Why would you want to join a server if there's 5 or 6 people or one alliance out of the gate that you'll never catch, in the first month or two? It just demoralizes a server. So if they're really looking to expand and to grow their player base, they really need to put some sort of limits and caps on these things that, and get, punishing all the rest of us that have been around forever and doing all these things and gotten to where we've gotten. They're just looking at the wrong thing. They're not focused on the right stuff, in my opinion. But
yeah, no, I agree.
They would do so much better if they would just, let's just assume all the servers that are currently there are lost causes. Let's look at how do we grow the player base and the new servers going forward and make it more playable and more competable, if you will.
Have those people who have felt outcasted in those earlier servers, they just tend to leave and go to new servers. And I feel like those are the guys who are building up those new servers really fast. I'm pretty sure it's...
Well, and frankly, that's what I did. I started on server 27, and we were really good and we did really well. And it was K35 max, and I just got bored. It was like 2 years of, we were number 2 or number 5 on the SVS charts. We were winning things. We were doing great. It was so much fun, but it got to be, you just join Battlefield and then you might be getting bored. You just win every time. It's like,
yeah,
well, I'm just spending money on speeds and all these things. Is the sort of the fun, the challenge of it all kind of went away. And that's when I decided to jump onto 162, and I was just messing around and got to meet a bunch of people and had a lot of fun and got rid of my other accounts, and here I am. But yeah, so I think you're right. I think people do look for that next challenge. They look for a fresh start, or they look to build a new team. I mean, you'll see that RSP, even Hot to a certain extent. Some of these guys, they want to develop their teams, and so they'll all start on a new server, or they'll recruit people from other servers to take over their accounts, stuff like that. I think that's been more of the trend, but yeah. So we're all just looking to do more stuff, have more fun, and have a good environment to do it in. And I think that's, at the end of the day, it's not much to ask, but they're focused on banning people and taking things. And anyway, we could go on and on. Somebody else does those kind of streams. I don't want to. We'll have fun here. So, well, anyway, I've kept you quite a long time here. If you certainly got other questions, I really do want to look at that Rurik set and see what your new buffs look like if you had a new set. But don't go making it until you verify some of that, and I'll look at that too. Okay. But yeah, keep doing what you're doing. Obviously, you're capable of understanding the game really well at a high level. So I think the main thing, just keep helping your teammates, and you're ahead of them all, but you want to bring them along as well, and make sure they understand speed and how to do things, mechanics, and what not waste their resources on. Because I think that's a lot of times that you'll get advice from people, and they may be getting advice from you that can spend the money and the time and has the resources available to make those mistakes. But once they commit some of those resources, valuable things, they can't get them back until they spend another 6 months building up those things again. So I think that's the big thing for people, is don't waste stuff that's consumable, that isn't easy to get back. And I think that's the main thing you can do for your group. So
right now we're just focused on keeps, right? Everybody's internally the stuff that you can't lose, so the buildings and become K38 or K39. Everybody's looking to ascend that way right now.
Yep. Get your research up. They can't take away that. They can't take away Monarch gear. A lot of things are just staples that you want to continue to have them focus on. So that's good.
Well, in research, we're trying to max it out, but those tools, those scrolls, they are harder and harder to come by without purchasing packs.
Yep. Tax scrolls are a big thing. Now you're helping your team by doing the bigger bosses and getting those attack scroll drops on the bosses. But yeah, they're not easy to get.
But we got a tyrant on our server who they decided to make KOs, and she's a pretty big keep, and she just goes around running amok, killing all the bosses while everybody's sleeping.
And is she in an alliance, or just kind of being a...
She's an alliance, but she solos everything. She's just a monster. The worst person you could have put on KOs. Like, she's the type you smoke, you zero her, and then you say, oh yeah, by the way, she's on KOs. But they gave her advance warning, and now she, unlimited bubbles, and she just goes around killing every monster.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's not helping the server.
No, everybody's struggling right now. Well, most people are struggling right now.
And just for a reference sake, you are only 2 million less in tech power than me, so you're doing quite well on your research. So keep that up. Not saying I'm perfect, but I focus on the required things. I haven't done all the little things that would give me a higher tech power, but you're in a really good shape there too, as I saw you scrolling. I
was trying just to finish Miami 5. That's basically it. Just be done with the military academy, and then
that's
it, right?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Obviously, the original one, there's things you can go back and do for like Holy Palace, but how often do you get hit and have to actually use that thing?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Even in SVS, just don't get taxed.
We all can aspire to be as high tech power as Duca Chris and have 225 or whatever the max is, 223, I think it is. But someday I'll be as high tech power as my buddy Duca.
Good.
Yeah. So,
I appreciate it.
Well, cool, bud. Hey, anytime you want to hop on stream or go through some more stuff, or you see us on here, we haven't done one in a while, but we'll be doing Hanging with the Hose soon. If you see us on here, want to give us some shout outs or come on and have some fun with us, you're welcome anytime. So I appreciate you reaching out, and it was fun to go through your keep, and certainly reach out with other questions, and we'll do it again if you need to.
I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, Bake. Good talking to you.
Later.
Yes, yeah. Well, that was Bake, guys. Cool dude. Pork Me, obviously, wouldn't steer us wrong. He's got a nice guy. Obviously, well played, and a lot of experience already on even a newer server 1010. Shout out to the 1010 crew, and I'm really sorry. Hopefully they've found a way to get their spots back in their Alliance City. I'm not sure if someone may or may not have showed up on their server a few times for fun to say hello to Pork Me when there was a glitch.
I'll tell you.
Are they still broke?
Yeah, I haven't submitted a ticket. I need to do that.
They will get rid of them. I had 2 spots in actually I still got a bunch, but I mean they're all over on our map, but the one that was right in my spot, somebody was taking a selfie in my spot, and she also got one back. She ended up getting her spot back too that I took from her, but she's a good girl. She knows how to write a ticket. But so I really appreciate Bake coming on and Pork Me for getting them on Hanging with the Hose. And I know anybody that is listening that wants to join our Discord, they can reach out to me on Discord. Happy to join you. I know your pals. If you know somebody already on it, you can certainly hop on and join our Discord as well. I think they changed it recently as to how you find people. There's no longer using the number. So I am _Hefe. That's an _HEFE. If you want to friend me on Discord and you want to hang with the hose, we have some fun in chat. We do some of these events every once in a while. You're welcome to join into the chats too. So happy to have you on the Discord. We also do Aptoid updates there, so I can give you some of the new information on when Aptoid's doing some of their daily percentage increases. And I know I just reached out to them as well to get an update there. I haven't heard back, but as I get those updates, I do put those on the site, so you can do some planning if you're in need of some packs for, if Bake wants to try some debuffs this weekend and accidentally click on a double down, he can do it with little Aptoid savings that we might be having coming up. So we notify people of that on that site as well. So yeah, I think that's about all. You got any questions, Pork Me, or comments, questions?
I guess what would be the best way for me to help him out?
I think the main thing is information, probably for your team. You being, I don't know if you're the second biggest, but it seems like you're the most involved. I would look to be, you're helping them out finding targets in battlefields. You're helping them out by just adding to more of your joining troops, which in effect is going to make you bigger. But being able to successfully join his rallies is the key. Like if we didn't have all of our team big enough to sit for rallies, to join Lions rallies, we wouldn't do as well as we do in Battlefield.
Right.
It takes everybody, right? Everybody's got a role. It's just some people want to do roles they can't necessarily do at this point based on their size or their buffs or their whatever their thing is. But yeah, I think that's the main thing is just joining and working hard and helping people learn and trying to keep people having fun. I mean, that's the thing. We have a lot of fun in the whole alliance, and it's gotten quieter these days. The spending is Evony making changes and things like that has kind of upset a lot of people. Things, are getting a little bit stale on the event side. There's all these things. I think there's All-Star hangover still for people, but as much as you can do to keep them.
All-Star was a pretty big slap in the face. At least for me, it taught me that I am not up to that, big All-Star level area. So I'm not going to go too crazy on it, but still could do, Bach and BOC and be good at that at least.
Yeah. Well, you'll see, and you probably did see, its size. I mean, if you can't survive a hit and you get zeroed, I mean, literally comes down to heal stars. How many heals can you do?
Yep, that was it. I mean, there was a guy in our All-Star that was like, I think 7 billion. And I mean, he was weak. He had terrible research, and he just healed back up like 4 times, and he was on top of the list. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, and I was like, well, I can't beat this guy.
Right. Yep.
We were able to beat him easily. He was 3 points, but he healed up and got back up, and he was on top of the charts.
Yeah, no, it's especially in the first round, it's usually about individuals, and that's all they're hoping to do is get to the dragon round and get their dragon, and then they're either going to not heal or they're going to keep going to try to get the castle and do the same thing. But it's frustrating because they start playing as individuals like that, just giving away points. Then your team doesn't finish. My goal is always to get as high as you can finishing so that you can get more people on your team to move forward, but that's not everybody's approach always, but we try to do it. I mean, at some point it turns into individual when you can't catch them or you don't have the troops on your team, but literally save up your heals. Don't waste them on bosses. Don't spend them even in battlefields trying to win a battlefield. I mean, some of that stuff's crazy unless you're like pushing for a dragon or doing things. Just use everything with a purpose. I think that's the main thing you can tell people too.
Yeah, I think just because it's summertime right now, I'm probably going to take it easy with the healing and all that. But once things calm back down, we'll probably hit Bach again harder. Try to get someone else that Wonder 3.
Yeah, it's key. I mean, it opens up a lot of things, especially if you can get that and add into the mix an All-Star Dragon or two. Nidhogg is a huge asset for whether you want to use it for Cavs or Arch. But I think it sounds like you got a good crew and you guys are having fun. That's the main thing.
Oh yeah, no, we always have fun. It's just I think I need 4 more All-Stars to get 1 dragon, so we'll see what happens.
That's not true. Come on, just get fat.
Oh yeah. Easy as that.
without having like 85 alts and
I mean, you just saw the thing that I posted. Someone asked why they got suspended, and it was because they traded resources with someone they got zeroed. I'm like, what the hell's the point of this game now?
Right. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. That response, it's very disheartening to think about. I just don't understand that response at all. Actually, I could pull it up here.
Yeah. And I found that on Reddit, so that's where that came from.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just put it up here, yeah. It's pretty funny. This is somebody just saying, asking if they can send resources to a friend that's zeroed, just wanting to make sure, and then it just says, yes, sending resources to Alliance members who have been zeroed is not allowed. Thank you for your understanding. I mean, obviously. Okay, so basically take away the transfer function then instead of banning people for trying to help out their teammates.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's frustrating. What was I going to show? Oh, I did end up swapping out. I opened my egg. I was going to do that on server, but or on stream, but I ended up getting the All-Star 1 keep. So I was able to get this All-Star Battlefield Championship castle because I always wanted a 2x2. People are like, why do you get that? It doesn't have any buffs. It's because it's cool. So
No, man, I work my butt up for the one keep that I have.
yeah, well, it's good. Seeing you're gonna love that keep. And the mushroom keeps, nothing to be ashamed about that one. It's another one of my favorites.
You know, in our server, we can't upgrade that one, even though it says you can.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I swear they hate our server for some reason.
Yeah, for a while you guys didn't have the right pack info or the packs were
We
different.
didn't have the right packs. I complained, and then we finally got them, and then we finally got the sirens. So that was nice to have.
Well, if I had any pull, I'd be pulling for server 1010, but
Yeah. Sometimes I wonder.
I definitely don't. Although we did earn, I think we were a top streamer for All-Stars again. That was fun to see.
Nice.
Third time running, but it gets me nothing other than a few rewards. And I get a pretty frame with a rose on it. So pretty amazing.
Oh, there you go.
That
Remember,
and a
every
bus.
rose has its thorns, all right?
That's right. It's a good song. That and a bus ticket will get me to Chicago. Is that what they say? I don't know.
It sounds like that.
Yeah. So what else going on? You guys are.
We're playing Diablo 4 with Goku.
Are ya? I took a stint there. I will say I just got bored. I used to play those games all the time, but I just got bored. I mean, I'm at like level 48, and I'm just like, yeah, this is the same thing over and over again. I guess you could say that's the same thing here in Evony, but somehow it's different when maybe it's because I'm playing by myself. I don't know.
No, I just got to 50. I'm trying to unlock the new thing so I can get to the next world. I don't know. This is like Pork Me when he was 13 and just discovering video games. So this is awesome. It's like a little trip back to memory lane. Well,
I'll have to find you. I'm in a group with Goku. I think we teamed up or claned up or something, whatever they call it.
Yeah. You Jinxie?
Yeah.
I'm Ooga Booga.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, maybe I'll see you on there. I've been running around the other day. I was playing. I haven't played in a little bit, but yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But it's literally a distraction. It's like, I don't know. There's not much else to do. I was burnt out a little with All-Stars, and so now.
Yeah, that was the other thing too. I was looking at Evony. I was like, I don't want to quit because I love the people that I'm with. So I was like, I do need to take a minor step back and just play when I need to play, but have something else to enjoy. So I picked up Diablo.
That's good. It's fun. It's like you said, I played Diablo 1 when it first came out. I played even before that a lot of. I'm much older than you, I'm guessing, but I did. EverQuest was even before WoW came out. I did Asheron's Call before WoW bought them, or I think it was purchased by. But yeah, so I'm an old school gamer as well, so that's why it was pretty fun to jump into Diablo 4.
Yeah, no, this reminds me of our old LAN party days with Warcraft 2 and 3 and all that.
Okay, so yeah, you are old school. You used to use modems. That means you're.
It was a tripping hazard around my friend's house every single time. And then the room we were at was just so hot because of those huge computer monitors we were using.
Oh yeah. Yep, for sure.
And I think that's how I got my first kidney stone, because I drank like one sitting. I had like 12 big reds, which was not a good thing for my kidneys. And then like a month later, I'm like, I don't feel good. Totally worth it.
Gaming causes kidney stones. I get it.
It does.
That's cool. Well, cool. We'll have to look you up on Diablo 4. I know there's some others we're playing maybe at a little slower pace than us, but there's others out there running around. So
yeah,
cool. All right. Well, I'm probably gonna hop off stream here. I appreciate you hopping in, and any other hoes out there. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said before, if you're looking to join our Discord, hit me up on Discord, and we'll invite you into the group and. Just introduce yourself. That's all we ask when you get on, what server you're from and who you are, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to sign off the stream here. We will be streaming Battlefield tomorrow for BOG. If I've got time, I will probably do an HMBs as well. Always like hanging with those guys. We might even have Mr. Mime and Anj jumping on to help the hose out in ours. We'll see. So tune in tomorrow for that. But otherwise, yeah, we're just chugging along here, waiting to see what Evony's going to do next. Hopefully not Cape 45. Let's not get crazy. So, all right, with that, I will sign off and leave you with some music. And appreciate everybody coming on stream. Again, shout out to Bake, and really appreciate him showing everybody his keep and looking through some things. We didn't, I would say we didn't fix a lot of things. He had a lot of good things going on there. So. But cool that he knows what he's doing and he's willing to help his teammates out. So a lot of fun to see him. We'll look forward to seeing him in the next All-Stars and see what he can do with all that keep. So, all right, I'm going to sign off and we'll see you on the next stream.
Later.